One thing I have utter contempt for is companies that are set up purely to rinse you of as much money as possible. And more often than not, they can catch you out in a lie, an inconvenient truth, or an oversight, and come after you for fines and all sorts of things. I want to tell you a couple of stories now just to set out these examples. Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing all right. I'm not too bad. Let me know how you are in the comments. Everything's all right with you. You're going to have a good day. That's the main thing. Well, car parking charges, car parking firms. When you go and park in places, when you look at McDonald's, Burger King, Asda's, Tesco's, even restaurants now, airports, their parking spaces are generally all managed by a private parking firm. And when you drive in, an assumption is made by that parking firm that you're going to obey all the terms and conditions of that car park before you even go and read any signs. Crazy. And then if you don't, they will then fine you. I'm fighting a case at the moment where I went out and parked at the airport hotel at Stansted, dropped my passengers off and left. I got fined. I'm not paying it, and I still haven't, and there's letters going back and forward. But here's a couple of examples for you which are crazy. Years ago, I used to take one of my boys to a local snooker club, and it was right on the cliff front near a place called the Lido. Look it up on Google, it's still there. And what they did after a time, they painted parking bays in this place and installed a parking meter. When I went there one day and discovered this, I thought, oh, okay. And it said, enter numbers on registration, on your number plate, just the numbers, which I did. I paid the money. It's only 50p, a pound, something like that. Went and played snooker, didn't think anything of it. Went away. A couple of days later, I get a fine in the post telling me that I'd not paid my parking fee. It wasn't a fine, it was a penalty charge notice, which is a form of invoice. There's a very distinct difference between the two. I said, well, hang on a minute, here's my ticket. I did pay. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. And they're telling me that I should have put the full registration number in, even though I was told by the machine quite clearly just the numbers, and it allowed me to do so. Knowing what I know, I went and had a word with the owner of the land, who happened to be the proprietor of the snooker club. He said, don't worry about it, Andy. He had a big pile of them, which he had to deal with, and mine got rubbed out. That's one technique where you can, deal with these things. Go and talk to the landowner. Now, I want to draw your attention to an area called West Pentire, which is down in Cornwall. And here's a story for you. There's a car park down there, which is run by UK Car Park Management Limited. And this is a story. We parked at West Pentire Crantock in Cornwall in a car park managed by UK Car Park Management Limited. We paid by bank debit card. It's probably one of these where you've got to ring and do the number or something. And although we did not keep the ticket, who does, we have a bank statement clearly showing we paid. However, we later received a parking charge notice saying we had not paid and claiming that we had to pay a £60 fine. Well, the fine, I think, is actually 100, but reduced to 60 if you pay it within a certain amount of time. And they're claiming that you didn't pay, and they can't find any record where you can prove that you did by an entry on a bank statement. And surely by the process of elimination, above all else, it's going to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you paid. Now, they're point blankly refusing any appeals. I mean, a very interesting note, where you were told to appeal to is actually paid by these people to process their appeals. So naturally, they're going to reject them in the first place. It's another level of crookedness from these cowboy parking firms. They need shutting down. Now, these people are very worried that they've got to pay a fine for something they'd already paid. Now, personally, again, as in my case, I would go and approach the approach the owner of the land if they're contactable, and there are a series of things you can do. Personally, if they're threatening you, I would call their bluff and say, take me to court, because you can prove your case by the sound of it quite easily. I really hate these people. I think they need shutting down, all of them. It's just a cash grab, a lot like you, Les, or anything else. Have you ever had this where you've gone and paid for something, a car parking space, only later to be told you are going to get a fine, even though you paid what you were asked? Leave a comment, drop me an email. As many of these stories as I can get out and expose, the better. Anyway, I'm off. I'll see you with one more shortly. Toodaloo.